Davion Mitchell was a co-MVP in the Summer League with Cameron Thomas, who I was very high on before the draft. And the question is, can Davion Mitchell instill a winning culture in Sacramento? They are two-time Summer League champions. They are two-time Summer League champions. They have won more Summer League championships than they have made the playoffs in the past 10 years. They have the longest tenured playoff drought in NBA history. Do you think Davion Mitchell can change that in any way?
I think it's too much to ask from a guy in Davion Mitchell to come in and just completely change the whole culture of Sacramento. Like you said, they've been losing for a long time. They haven't had winning basketball in a long time. I think it's going to be a collective effort. I think Davion could definitely come in and still, he just won the Baylor National Championship. He just won Summer League, the championship. He's a co-MVP. So as you can see, winning follows him. He's been a part of a winning culture for the past 2 years. So he can come in and bring that winning mindset. Sacramento is a young team that doesn't like to play defense. Davion could come in. He can bring that defensive mindset to them as a team. And, you've seen some highlights of him in the Summer League, locking up James Bucknight, playing incredible defense on Peyton Pritchard. He's been as advertised so far. So I think asking him to come in and bring a winning mentality to Sacramento, that's going to be tough. But I think, you start with guys like that. And I think once you start with guys like that, you can start to develop something in that culture.
So I look at Davion Mitchell, and the first guy that comes to my mind is Marcus Smart. Now, I look at Marcus Smart's game, and I see how it equates to Davion Mitchell. Davion Mitchell is known for being an elite defender, or that potential of being an elite defender, and he showed that 100% in Summer League that he is, in my opinion, the best perimeter defender in this draft by far. And you match that with his motor that is just nonstop. From quarter one to quarter four, he's on go. That's Marcus Smart to a T. You look at Marcus Smart, a guy who is known for his defense, can hit the occasional jump shot, but is really that guy that tries to bring the group together, is a guy you want in that locker room. And Davion Mitchell could potentially be a guy like that. Someone that is always going to give you everything that they have the entire game is something that the Kings do not have right now. And from what I've seen from Davion Mitchell in Summer League, it's a good sign for what the Kings 100% need, especially with the talent that they have. And his role is going to be similar to that of Marcus Smart's on the Celtics. Marcus Smart was a six-man point guard off the bench, and I think that that's going to be Davion's role. I think that they're probably going to start Halliburton, definitely start Fox. But he doesn't need to go above and beyond in that sense offensively, even though offensively he shot 47% from three, so he's more than capable of shooting the ball like that. Field goal percentage, 42.3, definitely could bring that up a little bit, but it's definitely respectable. I just think I look to his motor and his elite talent defensively, and it's going to translate to wins in the sense that it's going to ignite the rest of his team, and that's where I believe that. Do I think he's a game changer, superstar in the league? No. But I think that if he does his role the way I believe he's going to play his role, I think that it definitely will correlate to wins.
When he was drafted by the Kings, I was shocked. I was shocked for the wrong reasons because I believe that was not the right pick. But then sitting back on it, thinking about the pick, I got to tell you, they couldn't have made a better pick at that spot. Going with Davion Mitchell was better than going with the project player like a Jalen Johnson.
Are we sure he's still a project player?
Jalen Johnson?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. He definitely looks great right now. But at the time, he definitely was. Davion Mitchell, everywhere he goes, he wins. In high school, he won. Baylor, he won. Auburn, I think he won. They went far with him as well, but he didn't play much.
No, it's strictly Baylor. But they went far the year before, too. So
okay, so Davion Mitchell, everywhere he's gone, he's won. And the reason Sacramento drafted him is because they wanted more guys that can fit into that culture. The reality of the situation is that if the Kings had a better coach, we would view this team in a totally different light. I was surprised by this, but Luke Walton has the second highest winning percentage in Sacramento Kings head coaching history, only behind Rick Adelman. Luke Walton is number 2. He has won 31 games each season. He has been there each season. They have played 72 games. I wish they still would have had Dave Yeager because Dave Yeager got fired 2018-2019 season. He won 39 games. That was the most since the 05-06 season, and he got rewarded by getting fired. And Marvin Bagley, his best season was his rookie year with Dave Yeager. We saw Luke Walton mishandle young talent in Los Angeles. So the fact that they brought him back, the fact that Sacramento signed him, I think, was a mistake. Because you look at this talent, De'Aaron Fox, Davion Mitchell, Halliburton, maybe he could start, but I think Buddy Hield still might start.
Okay.
So Fox, Davion, Hield, Halliburton, Harrison Barnes, Terrence Davis, Luke King, I think could maybe get some role player minutes this upcoming season. Marvin Bagley, Mo Harkless, Rashawn Holmes, and Tristan Thompson is on Sacramento as well. From top to bottom, they have a really good roster. They just don't have a coach that can lead them there. And I'm not sure how much Luke Walton is going to improve this upcoming season, but they have brought in some other coaches, like they added Mike Longabardi, who was a coach for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He has won a championship as a coach, but the knock on him is that in Cleveland, their defense suffered once he was added to the staff. They also hired Doug Christie as an assistant on Luke Walton's staff, who spent 5 years in Sacramento when Sacramento was competing year in and year out. Monte McNair, the GM for the Kings, did not co-sign Luke Walton being the coach. I think Luke Walton isn't fired right now because the Kings don't want to pay him while he's not working for them.
Okay.
Even though they have denied those reports, that's what I think it is. But their biggest problem right now is inconsistency. Last year, they went on a 5-game winning streak. Then they went on 2 9-game losing streaks. Their problem is inconsistency. I think Davion Mitchell, he brings consistency. Defense every night. Spaces the floor every night. So he'll help them in that aspect. But if we're talking about long-term, I do think in the next 2 seasons, we're going to see Doug Christie take over as the head coach of the Sacramento Kings. And I think that's when it'll start to take off. But as long as Luke Walton is the coach, I don't have much faith in them.
I mean, you know, for the Kings, it's just tough. I want to say they have a good team. You know, there's nights where they show us that they can compete with anybody, but at the same time, you know, you can't. I don't think you're going to be able to win games if you're one of the worst defensive teams in the league. You know, with the young core too. Like this team, Fox is young, Halliburton is young, Bagley, although he hasn't been what he is, he's still young. You know, Davion Mitchell, he's not young, but he's, you know, young. He's not young being drafted, but he's still a young player. And I think it starts with defense. You know, if this team, the personnel you just named out, I don't, you know, Bagley isn't a plus defender. Fox is. Barnes is. You know, Rashawn Holmes is. Tristan Thompson at times can be. Halliburton, yeah, but it's like collectively, are they a good team defense? And I don't think they are, and that's what relates to the fact that they're one of the worst defensive teams in the league. Mitchell can definitely come in, change that, not change the full narrative, but help that narrative. But I think, like you said, Luke Walton is a bad coach, and that combinates with the fact that this team isn't just built to be a good playoff team. So I don't know if Walton's going to get fired or not. I hope he does. He's really not that good. But, you know, with Mitchell coming into a bad situation, I think he can definitely put some positive eyes in the looks of Sacramento Kings fans who haven't seen positivity for a long time.
No, I definitely agree with both sentiments that you guys are saying right now. On the coaching end, I feel like they need a more experienced coach. Luke Walton has some years underneath his belt for sure, but I feel like they need an old school type guy to really, like Tom Thibodeau almost, like someone that's going to really light the fire under their butt every single night. Like, listen, we know you can play offense. We know you guys can go get buckets whenever you want, but we need to see it on the defensive side too. And that's the reason Sacramento is not significantly better than what they've shown us these last few seasons. You look at the 2019 season, they had 39 wins. It's like that team was pretty solid, and people were talking about that Kings team like it was really good. They've gotten more talent to add on top of that going into this next season too. So I don't understand how they've regressed in that sense, and it solely comes back to the sense that they don't play good defense at all, and that's what, backpacking off Riff said, Davion Mitchell can come in and be the difference maker defensively that could potentially lead the spark under all these guys to say, listen, we got a guy here that is giving it everything that he has defensively. Let's continue going off this.
Put it into perspective, they had a better offense than the Heat last season.
No, they have a lot of firepower offensively.
The defense, you have to play defense, especially in the regular season.
It's like Harrison Barnes gets disrespected. He's a bucket getter. Buddy Hield, one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. Obviously, De'Aaron Fox is one of the more upcoming players in our league. If not, he's now. De'Aaron Fox is like that. Rashawn Holmes is a solid player for sure. We know my opinion on him. I really like him as a player for sure. Tyrese Halliburton, didn't he average? I don't want to throw false numbers.
He was first team all rookie.
He was good. He was really good.
He was super solid and can
very clutch.
Definitely play the point guard position very well. I like this core that the Kings have. I just think they need a more experienced guy.
Luke Walton in LA, he stunted Lonzo and Brandon Ingram's development when he was there. You saw when Ingram went to New Orleans, he really took off. And Lonzo, he's still finding himself, but we'll see if he takes off in Chicago. You know my opinion on Lonzo.
Did you watch the DeMar DeRozan thing?
I watched it, but
when he said,
what is he going to say?
When he was talking to Gilbert?
Yeah, I watched it.
Oh, okay.
What is he going to say, though?
No, I just wanted to make sure.
Lonzo's not going to play his game.
Yeah,
of course he's going to say he's going to play his game.
Just making sure you saw that.
I know. I definitely saw it. But I think the Kings have a scar. That scar is Luke Walton. They have a big scar. I think Davion Mitchell is a Band-Aid over that scar, and so are all these talented players. Marvin Bagley has not improved since his rookie season because Luke Walton is the coach. That's what I firmly believe. I think they need to find a way to get a better coach, and then that's when the Kings will finally take off. And that's what I think the problem is right now. But I think Davion Mitchell was the right pick because you look at the Kings roster all around, they have talent top to bottom. They need NBA-ready guys. And I think Davion Mitchell at that spot, at that time, not in hindsight, was the most NBA-ready guy. And that's why they picked him there.